What's up, fam? Just got home from work, about 7 o'clock. We finna get this old big boy rolling. And we finna get us a brisket rolling tonight. Y'all stay tuned. What's up, fam? We finna get this old smoker going. We got our propane. That's how we light our big smoker. We got our stack all the way open over there. All we're doing is lighting her up, getting her ready, and while she's getting ready, I'm gonna go in the house, season up this brisket, trim it to the finest, and we're gonna get ready to put her on. Excuse my dirtiness, I just got off of work, but today my wife has been agging me. She's been saying, I want some brisket. I'm like, okay, let's cook some brisket. Tomorrow is our 2-year wedding anniversary as well, so I might as well throw some brisket on the smoker for her. So we have today a 12-pound brisket. We're gonna trim it up, probably take a pound off once the trim is done. So we're gonna go over the trim and the seasoning. I like this seasoning, ain't nothing too fancy. It's Pitball's Lone Star brisket seasoning, salt, pepper, paprika. And all we're gonna use is apple cider vinegar and water, because we don't have to get all nasty with the mustard. So today I'm using my Kershaw 9-inch fillet knife as well. That thing is sharp and it's ready to get on some brisket tail. Boy, it's a little bit too small for my brisket, but we're gonna make it work today. We're gonna start by trimming, making it look a little bit presentable. We ain't too fancy around here, so I ain't trying to be competition. But the first thing I love to do is take it and just take that first trim down. It kind of reveals how much fat we have as well, because you don't want too much of a fat cap on that brisket. Make it, you know, I don't prefer a lot of fat. I know some people do, but I don't. And we're gonna come over the top. We're gonna trim some of this down as well. We're gonna make this round right here. We're gonna take around it, because this is the flat. This is the flat, this is the point of the brisket. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna edge it off ever so slightly. I ain't no brisket professional, y'all, but as we all have to do, we all have to learn. And so I'm doing a little bit of practice every time I'm cooking, just practice. Clean up them edges. We got that side trimmed down, so we're gonna bump this bad boy over. And you see this big hunk of fat, I'm sorry. We're gonna take it and we're gonna just start trimming. We're gonna see what we got under here. And I kind of picked this brisket out in the store. It was a bunch of them. A lot of them kind of awkward looking. But I love less fat on my brisket, because when I'm paying for it, I want to pay for meat. I don't want to pay for fat, if you get what I'm saying. I have to trim it. So we just going to go ever so slightly. We don't want to take off too much. We want it to be even, so it can cook even and it also be slightly presentable. Really ain't got to do a lot of trimming on this backside. We don't have a whole lot of fat. But we're going to come edge this side up just a little bit. And that's what we have, a brisket right there. Take a trim down right here as well. You want to take a trim down. All right, fam. That's a trim brisket to me. Ain't too much, ain't too fancy. We just gonna spread some binder on. Oh, let me trim one last part, y'all. This brisket has some pretty marbling in it. See along there. You see right there, that's our excess that we didn't cut off. Fat, a little bit of meat. You can keep that, use it for grinding. I'm a hunter, so I like to grind my own meat. I clean my own meat, so whenever I get a hog or a deer, you know, deer is lean, throw some of that fat in there, mix it up as well when you're making your sausage or your grinds. And we're gonna, you know, do just fine. So all we're gonna do now is we ain't gonna just focus too much on season heavily on this fat cap, because we're gonna go fat cap down on this smoke. We're gonna pass over. And then we're gonna flip this bad boy. And then this is where we're gonna go heavy on right here. So all I'm just all this apple cider vinegar and water spritz. We gonna come. Don't cheat on them edges now. You want everything get a nice bit of seasoning. As y'all can see, that point, on that flat, I'm sorry, is a leaner muscle. So it tends to dry out faster than that flat does. Point, I'm sorry. Flat, yeah. Point. One of them. So all we doing is coming over here where we spritzed it. Just gonna get us a nice layer of seasoning. This is a nice brisket in my opinion. When y'all do it, it ain't gotta be fancy. I'm a beginner, just like y'all. I've been cooking for a little bit, but I ain't got too heavy in the smoke game like I am now. Which we have other videos on spare ribs as well. But when that brisket gets that nice even color and you see that color all the way around it, and it's what you liking, I go a little heavy on the seasoning. That's just me, because I like a little bite in my bark with the smoke and the seasoning as well. You want both of them to complement each other. And that is a seasoned brisket. We're gonna let it rest. We got Big Daddy over there warming up. So give us about 5-10 minutes and we'll be right back at you. All right, fam. We at this brisket. Oh. We got that brisket resting on that first grate. We're gonna scrunch up just a little bit, keep a little tight for them, because as the cooker's gonna shrink a little bit. But we got oak wood rolling. I'm gonna let my cold bed sit with that oak. Once that cold bed sits, we're gonna be add pecan. while we're in the cook, we're gonna be aiming for about 225, 250. And last little bit, bump it up to 300 and let it get to about 203, 204. So we can keep y'all updated. What up, fam? We got the old pit rolling tonight. Oh yeah. So right now we're running about 275-ish. We got our ThermoPro. This is one of my favorite right here. Measuring great temp and the temperature of our brisket as well. So great temp is about 218. We running about 275. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. I just came out here to give it a check, and we're gonna get a little sneak peek on the brisket as well. Oh yeah. Nice bark is developing. Let's get it. What's up, fam? About 3 in the morning. Our brisket got a decent bark on it. We're gonna let it smoke for a little while longer. We're only at 150 internal temp though. When we get to 160, I'm gonna let this bark keep going about 430. I'm gonna pull it and I gotta go to work, pull it and throw it in the oven and let my wife pull it out when it reaches about 203. What's up, fam? I can get the bark a little bit darker, but I'm finna have to go to work. It's 4:40 in the morning. We finna pull this bad boy off of the pit, wrap him, throw him in the oven to finish up. And this evening we're gonna have some delicious brisket for supper. Got some pretty. All right, guys. My wife, she finished this brisket off in the oven this morning. I had to run to work. It did all right. Bark stayed pretty good on it. Got a little bend. I ain't no brisket master now. But we're gonna take our rendered down fat. We're gonna pour it on. I like to take my first cut down between the flat and the point. I ain't too terrible, y'all. I ain't too mad at that. Let's do a bend test. Pass the bend test. Pass the tool test too. The only thing we got to taste. Oh yeah, I passed the taste test. Now that is anniversary brisket right there. It ain't perfect. It ain't competition. It ain't all Texas, but it's how I make my brisket. I love it. I enjoy it. It's tasteful. Now my wife's, we gonna have some brisket nachos tonight, topped with a little barbecue sauce. And I appreciate you guys for joining this video and staying to the end. I'd like you for like and subscribe and keep on coming back. I'll post some more recipes and more videos of learning my smoker and overall us learning together how to cook. Thank y'all.